guys, Andrea Florian here from Royal LePage Burloak. I just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the things going on in the market here. We've hesitated to do so far simply because things have been in flux and we've seen so many pieces of information out there that we've been just watching and waiting till we would just see things settle down a little bit before we started putting out our own voice to what we think our feel is on the market out there. And before I begin that, I also do want to say I hope you're all keeping healthy and safe. And when I say that word healthy, I do also mean mentally, emotionally. I know it's a tough time and we will get through this, and I will see you all at the end of it in person, and we will survive this. So, but my thoughts are with you all, and I'm just sending good vibes out to everybody. Now, with regards to the market, I do want to qualify something first and basically say that we've always hesitated to put out general numbers like 5% increase or 10% decrease or whatever those numbers may be, because there's always one category of the market that actually would affect the rest of the categories so greatly. And so it's never 5% up across the board or 10% up across the board or 3% down or whatever the numbers are that they put in the headlines. Those are grabbers for your attention, but the reality is that if you're looking at a 2-bedroom condo for the $400,000 or $500,000 range, depending on your area, you're going to see very different increases and decreases than a $2 million luxury property or a country property or a lakefront property. But when they do this general blanket number across the board, it's not really fair to you as a consumer and somebody who wants to make some decisions based on that. Oh, the market is so bad or the market is so good. Every market has good and bad opportunities for people, and it really depends on your situation and what you're looking for. And so I think it would be key to actually get a breakdown of what's happening in your area for the house you want to sell versus the area that you want to buy in. And then the most important step, of course, is having a realtor that you actually trust to help you qualify those numbers to make sure that you're making a good move for you. So we won't blanket the numbers for you. We will try to give the best updates we can over the next little while. Most of our data is going to be focused from the Royal LePage website and what we see there, because to be truthful, the numbers across the board are pretty much the same for all of the different sources. We have been usually getting numbers and updates from our mortgage brokers and our own brokerage monthly, but recently it's been weekly and sometimes several times a week that we're seeing different updates happen, just because things have been in flux. But we're starting to see a little bit more stability now. So having said all that, let's move forward. The first thing that came to our attention was just that mid-March, of course, everything dropped, and we saw a 20% drop in terms of activity on the Royal LePage website for across Canada activity, and as well for bookings across the board. And that was the same at our brokerage level, covering our area for Halton. And so our team works in, we do Halton region, Mississauga a little bit, Milton, Oakville, Georgetown, Burlington, out to Hamilton, Waterdown, Ancaster, Stony Creek. So I would say across the board for all these areas, we've seen that same number of a dip. But ever since mid-March now, things have been on the increase ever since then, which is a positive. We will also say, though, that in terms of drops, like, you're going to see a lot of headlines saying that things have dropped so much, but the reality is that the showings have dropped and that sales have dropped, yes, but there's less on the market. So when you see this big headline saying that sales have dropped and the numbers are down, for us personally in this neighborhood, in these areas, we're not seeing numbers down. We're seeing numbers up, and we're still seeing in some cases multiples or things going over. Has there been a slowdown in some of the higher price points? Absolutely. Has there been a slowdown in general? Yes. A lot of that is even due to the fact that to help with social distancing, some sellers are even requesting that we do a 24 hours notice before we show a property, so that we can make sure that the sellers have time to assimilate themselves and find a place to go while their home is being shown. And in most cases, I would say in every case, where we used to take a buyer out to see 10 homes in a day, that's not happening anymore. We're looking at these 10 homes, we're going online with them, we're hopping on the computer, we're seeing it all virtually. Most sellers and most agents are now offering online virtual tours and trying to do as much as they can to make it feel like you've walked through the home without actually stepping a foot in the door. And then by the time they're coming to the point of actually seeing a home, we're talking that a point of, wow, we're really serious about this home and we're at offer time almost. So yes, sales are down. Yes, showings are down. However, overall, we are definitely seeing that prices are holding, and still actually at the moment in our area anyway, they've been on the increase. Some factors for that would be, of course, we've always talked about solid population growth in terms of Canada and Ontario. We're seeing population growth also in terms of people immigrating to Canada and also immigrating to Southern Ontario. And then a big, huge factor is just that millennial card. The millennials want to buy a home, and basically there aren't enough homes on the market. And as they come onto the market to buy a home, they're not coming on with a home to offer to help balance that market back out. So as we see this whole situation with COVID happen, we think, well, will prices drop? Well, the reality is that there's a lot of people that still want to get in that haven't had the opportunity yet and don't have any fear of a house to sell. So prices are currently holding, and we have millennials to thank for that as well too. They are driving a lot of the market right now. We also talked a lot recently in a lot of our meetings about how unemployment rate before this all began was actually at an all-time low, and what we're seeing actually is that we're hoping and we're projecting is that most people have been laid off temporarily. So if things go at the way as planned in terms of self-isolation and seeing an end to this virus in the next little while, then they're still actually predicting a 1% increase overall. If it were to last 4 and 6 months, well, then they are predicting something along the lines of a 3% increase. Now, I always think this is kind of like a choose your own adventure. There are so many paths that may happen and may affect how the outcome all ends, how things all end. So we of course will have to monitor that constantly because things are changing constantly. So having said all that, I think that basically the message that we've been receiving is that there will be a delay in the market and a delay in the growth, but that it's not a canceled market at all. And prior COVID, we were seeing strong increases and that we were gearing towards a big increase this year in terms of the market. Personally, I can say that as far as our clients go, we're definitely seeing a lot of people who are saying, we're still wanting to get into the market, we still want to buy and sell, we're just waiting for the right time and for when those numbers work for us. Or they just want to make sure that they ride out things in terms of their job and everything else too. So overall, positive outlook so far, but I do, again, encourage you to, even with this video, to say, well, let's ask some more questions. Our situation, everybody's situation is unique. We would be happy to help you qualify your own questions and make sure that you're making the right next steps for yourself as well and your family. So I hope that helps. We will try to post a little bit more. We've been a bit absent, just waiting to see what things look like. And please stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll see you all at the end of this too. Take care. Bye-bye.